Well, welcome back to Let's Play Madden98. For reasons I can barely explain, although I was able to beat the Redskins last week, I accidentally hit autoplay or something for week 13, and so I lost my chance to take on Brett Favre and the Packers. They beat me, and I don't know what is going to happen in the playoffs. Hopefully no one got injured. That's important. I wish I had my chance to see what the Packers operate like. I'm a little disappointed that I won't get that opportunity, but I guess this will save us time on the Let's Play. This kind of happens sometimes in Madden, and maybe it sometimes happens just using emulators, but you know, you hit a button, game happens. I just hope we can't afford a mistake like this in the playoffs. Alright, so I'm going to move on to week 14 and play the Oilers. What's going on here? Very confusing how it's behaving. It acts as if it's in week 11, yet okay, I would like to think this would be my chance to replay week 13, but as soon as I move my cursor, I would say I have limited choice spectrums. Alright, week 13. For some reason it won't let me play. Alright. Well, no, I have my chance to play Brett Favre and the Packers. I'm going to take it, and hopefully the system stops being mistake prone after the game. Maybe it'll fix whatever issues developed. Well, I'm grateful for my second chance, so I'm going to take it. The great Brett Favre is playing for the Packers. He is probably fresh off his 3 consecutive MVPs. He just won the Super Bowl. His defensive line is great. His offensive line is great. His wide receivers are great. I am in the fight of my life. His secondary is great, so I can't just throw it down the field all the time. Alright, let's find out what I can do. Not surprised to see the Packers come out with 3 wide receivers. They didn't really run the ball much, although they had Dorsey Levens, who won the Super Bowl MVP. He was really great that year, but really wasn't that great year after year. I'm not sure how Madden will evaluate him, though. I'm sure Madden, since he won a Super Bowl, I'm sure the Green Bay running backs are just dynamite. Mark Chimura. He was a really successful tight end for Green Bay, but was kind of a vulgar, brutish man, if I recall, who was accused of assaulting high school girls. I think that was him. I hope I didn't say the wrong guy's name and say he was associated with that. Antonio Freeman. I always thought he was underrated as a wide receiver for Green Bay. They didn't treat him with as much respect as I thought he deserved. But in Green Bay, they had gotten used to Sterling Sharp, who is really fantastic at wide receiver for them. And so they had better expectations than what Antonio Freeman was able to come and deliver. Antonio Freeman was involved in one of my favorite Monday Night Football plays where he was deep downfield and fell down on his stomach, and the ball hit him in the back, and then he rolled over and caught the ball and then stood back up and ran into the end zone. It was pretty remarkable. Dorsey Levens. So it appears that I'm going to really have to take control of my defenders in order to bring the star skill players of Green Bay down. Oh, I hit Dorsey Levens in the backfield and he shed my tackler. That's what having a great running back does. When I had Emmitt Smith, I had a lot of confidence to run the ball and that a defender in the backfield wouldn't destroy my play. So Green Bay is operating with their great running back while I am not. Fullback run to get started. Moose Johnson has my best yards per carry with Emmitt Smith out, so I might try to find ways to get Moose Johnson running more. And they have Gilbert Brown playing for the Packers. There's a lot of great defensive linemen playing for the Packers. Reggie White, jeez. But this is Dallas Cowboys are considered to have one of the best offensive lines of all time. And Madden himself was an offensive lineman. So when he overrates an offensive lineman, they tend to be completely all-world. They're in the zone coverage. It would have been much nicer if they were in man. I am looking towards the right side of the field. That was a huge third down conversion against the reigning Super Bowl champions. It's worth noting that historically, Brett Favre never won at Texas Stadium. So in real life, even though Green Bay won the Super Bowl the year before, when they came to Texas this year, they lost. Three yards and a pile of dirt. I'm actually running the same third down play I ran last time. But they blitzed their safety, and that's how that guy was able to get so open going right to left. The reason I wanted to run that same play is because it would have my second best wide receiver run a shorter route so I could get rid of the ball faster. It's against this defensive line. I might not be able to hold on to the ball and throw it deep downfield because their defensive line is awesome. So I was looking to run a slightly shorter route. They're not set up to defend the passive ball. Please don't be intercepted. They audibled successfully into a zone, and the Michael Irvin ended up doubled. I regret throwing that ball. Hopefully I can hold them, force a punt, at least not give up another touchdown. Wow, I just cannot stop Antonio Freeman. Boy, that end zone interception is looking worse and worse, isn't it? Wow, I am really struggling to stop these guys. They called a timeout, and it was the 2-minute warning. Be grateful for small things. They went left and I cheated right. If they had gotten that, they would have deserved it. That was a good play call. Not good. Not good. I give up 90 yards, 80 yards in just 30 seconds or something. Antonio Freeman chewed me up. I threw an interception in the end zone. My fans have got to be giving up hope by now. Michael Irvin, he's having a temper tantrum on the sideline. Jerry Jones is not at the owner's booth. He's making his way to the sideline. It's always a bad sign when Jerry Jones leaves the owner's booth and comes to the sideline. And my kick return was terrible. It's falling apart, man. It's all falling apart. Way to split the middle. I'm going to turn Anthony Miller into a star. I think I scored too fast. Giving Green Bay a minute and 20 was more time than I wanted to give them. That is easily, I don't know if that's my worst special teams play all year, but I think it's got to be the top 5. That's easily number 1 or 2 worst special teams play of the year. I don't think I've given up a touchdown yet. Now, the worst special team plays of the year were the 2 muff punts. So that was the 3rd worst special teams play of the year. A long kick return. With not much time on the clock against Brett Favre. So maybe they'll attempt a field goal. I'm hoping they just ignorantly run the clock. Keep the clock running. They ran out of timeouts. Alright. Maybe we have enough time. If they send a man in motion, they might just expire the clock. Alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. End of quarter. Wow. Green Bay could have ran up the score there at the end of half, and I would have been down by 2 scores coming out at half. Well, clearly, Troy Aikman gave up the interception that Green Bay was then able to turn around and score on, but then Troy Aikman quickly threw that lightning bolt of a touchdown so that we are back in the game. Thankfully, Green Bay didn't take advantage of the minute and 20 seconds I had. If Green Bay had scored as fast as they scored on their second drive, I would have been totally screwed. I have this feeling like I need to come out and really just hurl the ball down the field in order to give my running backs a chance to succeed. here in the second half. Oh, go down, hit the ground. He was open for half a second, but I probably shouldn't have thrown that. Alright, this is 4 down territory. Of that, there is no doubt. Wow, way to not help the situation. That was pure Michael Irvin. That had nothing to do with the quarterback. That was a terrible decision to throw that ball. I'm just lucky I didn't have to regret it.
And it's good.
Dan Beebe, huh? I haven't seen that name in a while. It's kind of difficult, you know. They keep getting me lined up in nickel. They run on me despite lining up in nickel. Boy, you know what Green Bay is going to do. They're going to pass. We're starting to suffer for all these screens. I'm doing better about having players in medium zone so these screens can get blown up.
24, 35, 46, 44.
Of course, you know me, I don't run screens in Madden. That's terrible. My fans are PO'd. Antonio Freeman is having a Michael Irvin-esque game. I really need to stop. I need to get a lead, not keep trying to play catch up. I don't stop these guys yet. Alright, I'm running the cover 2 play that has my cornerbacks in a short zone because I expect a screen. Hopefully this doesn't backfire. I was successful. That was a huge loss on second down. But let's see if we can make something of it. I'm almost looking to avoid calling a man defense because they've been so effective at burning my one-on-one matchups. So this is a large zone with a lot of men in coverage. Wow. I only rushed 3 people, but had the right combination of players to get some real disruption in their backfield. And then Green Bay sabotaged their own effort by throwing a screen. They've had so much luck pushing the ball down the field with Antonio Freeman. Why would you get away with that by throwing a screen on 3rd and 14? That was a very good time for a touchback. He almost put me in the coffin corner. I was worried there.
There's a flag on the play.
Holding. Boy, the run didn't help there. Alright, she'll end the 3rd quarter. Well, their secondary has a lot of highly ranked players. They might have even had 100, like I have 100.
35, 24. First down.
They keep getting open with these deep streaks. It just like makes too much pressure on their defensive backs. I think that there's a good chance, if I didn't have a player as good as Troy Aikman, that those would be interceptions a lot more often.
44, 36.
All right, Sherman Williams, you have to make someone miss.
Set. 44. Red. Green. Offside.
That was a good time for an offsides penalty. I can't run the ball, but I can get 5 yards of offsides. Run right at Gilbert Brown.
24.
Larry Allen's one big dude. Gilbert Brown's one big dude too. But I think Larry Allen actually has the matchup advantage because Larry Allen's one of the strongest dudes to ever play in the NFL. And Gilbert Brown actually had to take breaks from the NFL so he could lose weight.
There's a flag on the play.
Another holding penalty? I mean, clearly, I just can't move the ball running if I don't get a hold. My halfback counters have been really iffy lately, so I'm going to avoid that.
Set. 44.
Another flag?
There's a flag on the play.
How can I hit so many flags? 1st and 30? I'm trying to win a game, guys.
Set. 44.
Just short, and my fans are like all disappointed. 29 yards, come on. Alright. I don't know what I'm gonna do if I get another holding penalty right here.
First down.
Didn't do anything fancy, just got 3 yards.
Set. 34. 24.
Alright, take it to the 2-minute warning. Alright, I can't kick a field goal from this range. I am a deficient field goal kicker. And I also want to run the clock more because Green Bay can move the ball with some authority, especially when they start throwing it down the field. They're in a zone defense. Let's see if that helps me. It should give me half a second of running advantages. You see, when they're lined up in a zone, it implicitly implies that they're not aggressively playing the run. So a zone might be covering up for a few blitzes, but for the most part, the zone lets you know that they're intending to defend against the pass. Alright, I'm not sure why the clock stopped. Not left to right, Moose. Not left to right. I'm not sure why Herschel Walker's out there. Alright. I'm not great at kicking field goals. I'm going to try to center the ball and move it forward a few times. Oh my gosh. Another holding penalty? Where's this going to put me? I can't kick a field goal from there. This moved me out of field goal position. Man. I mean, Green Bay just has a lot of talented players. That's why I keep getting these holding flags. I guess I'll just take a touchdown instead. That was the catch of your young career, Miller. I mean, that was quite a play, man. So we were able to overcome these holding penalties by throwing a 29-yard completion and then throwing like a, what was that, a 26-yard touchdown. Oof, that didn't sound good. Glad that guy stood up. Those guys were down way too long. Alright, I went up by a touchdown, so they can get yards, they just can't get points. Well, will the clock continue to run? Okay, they called the timeout at least. I'm taking this guy back to defend the end zone. Oh, I didn't realize they still had a timeout left. I need another prevent, but I don't want to call the same prevent over and over again. They actually had 2 different prevent calls. Alright, this time it's Darren Woodson. Alright. For some stupid reason, they are lined up with 2 tight ends. I don't think they have the speed to get it into the end zone. on a pass. Yeah, Antonio Friedman. That's almost all you needed. But in the end, I had 4 defensive backs on him. Alright, so I overcame technical difficulties and early scores by the Packers and an indomitable passing game that the Packers brought in, and I won it by passing the ball myself. Had to overcome. I want to apologize to my running back. I mean, my offensive linemen were called for holds like 4 times, and that really set my running back backwards. Of course, who knows if those positive yards he gained would have happened if not for the holds. And of course, the Packers had a tremendously talented roster that kept drawing those penalties. All right, let's see what the individual performers did. Troy Aikman, 12 of 14. What a huge game when you needed it. One of his incompletions was an interception in the end zone in the early in the second quarter. The 3 touchdowns are the difference. Sherman Williams, 9 attempts, 20 yards, 2.2 average. If we had gotten those 40 yards of holding back, I think his average would have looked a lot better. And against a less talented team, I'm sure his yardage would improve. Still, I don't think he has the speed to really do anything at running back for me. He needs just to be a little bit faster just to catch up to Emmitt Smith. Michael Irvin and Anthony Miller, 4 receptions, both of them 130, 125 yards, 32, 31 yards a catch. Anthony Miller had a long of 42, and Michael Irvin had a long of 39. Miller had 2 touchdowns, though, to Michael Irvin's 1. They both had monster games. Wow, just monster receiving games. Moose Johnson had 3 receptions for 18 yards. Let's take a look at Moose's running. Moose Johnson, 2 attempts, 4 yards. Long of 6. For whatever that's worth. Alright. That wraps up. Week 13 of NFL action. Stay tuned for next week when the Dallas Cowboys face off against the Houston Oilers, or the Mississippi Oilers, or Memphis Oilers, or whatever they are in 1998. It was pretty bizarre. Alright. I'll talk to you next week.